Recording in progress.
Yes, guys, good morning and welcome to today's session. I hope you enjoyed Thursday's session. Like I said, I thought it was one of the best ones yet, and I might struggle to beat that today, but guess what? I'm going to try. And that's the point that I want to start with, because that's where I want you guys to be. So often, instead of looking for the bigger picture, all the things that we need to achieve, all the things that the big picture goals that we talked about, which are important, one of the big keys is most days we just need to be better than yesterday. Rather than thinking about how many trainings I want to deliver and all of these things, if we think about if I can just make each one a little bit better than the last one, and eventually that would be the best series of trainings in the world. Not constantly trying to make each one the best, make each one just a little bit better than the last one. And that's what we need to do in our lives, in our careers, in everything, is just be a little bit better than yesterday. It's the compound effect. And if you are, then you will consistently move forward as well. A couple of other points. So guys, you can see we are wearing the brand new race shirts sponsored by Mr. Wibberley at Chesterfield Glazing. These are now available, so if anyone wants one, let me know, and it will be packaged up and put in a nice little bag for you with your name on it, and available at the 200-mile run, or they can be posted out if you guys want to pay for postage and packaging. Let me know, drop me a message. There's only 50 of them that we've had printed, so they're quite limited. In regards to that also, you guys should have had an email from me yesterday about the affiliate scheme. If you are interested in that, let me know. But also let me know that you got that email, because a lot of the trainings and things now, the replays to these and certain information, I want to start sending them out via email. So I know 2 of them bounced. I don't know why, but I want to know you guys are getting that email. So even if you're not interested in the referral and the affiliate scheme, still just reply saying received, so I know that you've got it, because so much is just getting lost on WhatsApp and on Facebook and various other networks. So emails, we can be guaranteed that you've got it, it's saved, you can search it, and you're not going to go to look for a training that you really liked and you remembered, and getting lost in WhatsApp and Facebook, because WhatsApp can be a huge distraction, as can all social media. And I want to make sure you guys receive these sessions, receive the replays, and then I'm also going to send an email out with the last 100+ training sessions, I think, so you can work through them in a chronological order and have them in one place. Because ultimately, whether you choose to believe it or not, whether you're still a little bit in that ego stage of, I don't need this self-development stuff, Lee, I just need the training and nutrition plan, I'm here to tell you today that's bullshit, okay? Because you've had the training and nutrition plans your entire life. I shudder to think how many diets some of you have had, how many nutrition plans some of you have had, how many training plans and everything in between. Most people, unless you're a random complete beginner, have probably had them most of your life since you were 18 years old. You know what to do, okay? You're just not doing what you know. And knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. We don't have an information problem, we have an implementation problem. And all this starts with getting the mind in exactly the right place. You're not going to do the nutrition plan if your mind's not in the right place. You're not going to feel motivated if your mind's not in the right place. You're not going to be motivated and inspired to work every day if you haven't done the training on setting inspired goals that you want to work towards, which was Thursday's training. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, because this is going to build on from it. So will probably the next one as well. So, don't let your ego take over that you think you don't need it's not about self-help, it's about self-improvement, it's about growth, it's about personal development. And if I'm still needing it now, all these years on, then I'm going to put forward that it would be a great idea that you get involved in it too. But so often people are avoiding it, and then they're wondering why they keep struggling to train. They're wondering why they don't check in. They're wondering why they feel lost. They're wondering why they're not doing the training and nutrition stuff to the level and ability that they know they should be. And it's because the head's distracted. Okay? And a man who lacks purpose, a woman who lacks purpose, who lacks mission, vision, and goals will always find pleasure in distraction. I've said this time and time again. This is why you choose to go to the pub rather than the gym. So we're going to crack on and build this training on from Thursdays last week. Yeah. So we mostly discussed creating the mission, creating the roadmap, creating the big goal, and making sure that it's an inspired goal. And the big epiphany and the big insight that I've had is we need to be pulled towards our goals through inspiration, not pushed towards them through fear. So a metaphor and an easy example for that would be, I need to go to the gym and I need to lose weight because I'm fat, I'm depressed, I'm unhealthy, and if I don't, it's only going to get worse. Hardly getting your juices flowing, is it? That is moving towards a goal when you're being pushed by fear. I need to do something because I'm the biggest I've ever been. Try writing that down as an affirmation every morning. Okay? That is not going to make you feel inspired. If we flip it to an inspired goal that we're pulled towards through inspiration rather than being pushed towards by fear, that would be, I want to live long enough to see my son or daughter walk down the aisle. I want to be an incredible role model to them. I want them to be looking at me going, that's my dad. That's my dad. He trains, he eats healthy, he works hard, he's motivated, he's confident, his energy is on point. I want to be like him. So that's a kind of an external one, and then your internal one for you, that you should want that for yourself. And that's why then when we focus on, this was the key thing that we dropped on Thursday, rather than I need to lose 30 pounds, who do I need to become on the journey to lose 30 pounds? I need to do this in my career, I need to do this in my relationship. Rather than focusing on the thing we need to get, which is where so many people live, and then we chase it and we chase it, and we know this, when we chase the rabbit of success, it will run away because we're not attracting it, because all we're focused in on is getting the thing, to think when we get the thing we'll be okay, only to realize when we get the thing that we thought would make us okay, we still don't feel okay, because we weren't focused on the inspired goal and the person that we want to become for the rest of our lives, not just get into the thing that we think will make us happy. So as I've also said, the diet you should most be concerned with is the thoughts you are thinking and your inner self-talk. So moving on, I'm not going to say too much more, but do go back and watch it if you haven't already. So moving on from goals, from inspired goals, from focused goals, we also need vision, and we also need beliefs, and we also need faith, which is a word that I've not massively used or been aware of until this thing. I'm not looking at it from a religious angle, although that's where it came from. It does build into it. So, 3 personal visions that I wrote down, and one of them's been a vision for a long time. I want a villa or a house in Ibiza or Spain. Why? For a different change, not because, oh God, I want to be Mr. Billy Big Balls who's got a place in Ibiza, because I know it's a place where I've experienced an extreme amount of calm, peace and serenity, and that is the place that I want to live my life from. The second one is I want to impact and inspire as many people as possible as I can to live happy, fulfilling lives. The third one is I want Logan to never ever be able to not do something because either 1, I'm not available, or 2, I can't afford it. So you can see how that's an inspired goals. I've not said, I want to make £1 million so I can buy a villa. I've not said, I want to coach as many people so I can be the best coach in the UK. They're inspired goals that come from a deep meaning. And those are the visions that I'm working towards. So, You know, hopefully one day the people that are here long enough will look back on this training. God, he said that on Monday, the 20th of May in 2024, and he made it happen. Now, the only way I will make that happen is by holding that vision and having that vision to move towards, and in creating inspired reasons why I want that vision. There's loads of other things to build, isn't it? Well, to be able to impact and inspire as many people, I need to be impactful and inspiring, which means I need to keep working on myself. If I want as many people to be in great physical shape, then I need to be in great physical shape. Otherwise, they're going to think I'm talking shit because I'm not even doing what I'm coaching. So, you know, that's how those have changed from, you know, this is the vision, but this is the reason why I want to do it. But then most importantly, this is the person I need to be in order to make that a reality. So if I'm a person that keeps getting up late, hitting snooze, not going to work, making excuses not to do the work, and I'm not constantly trying to impact and inspire people, well, it's never going to happen, is it? So I need to become the person that is relentlessly doing that to build the vision that I want. So, and hopefully one day we'll have an event abroad. It's on the cards. So what the questions that I want to ask you today for you to drill down on is, how different could life look if you had an inspired, exciting, razor sharp vision to focus on every day, that you are continually inspired to move towards and are ready and happy and motivated to move mountains in order to achieve? I want to lose 20 pounds because I feel fat is not one of those goals. I want to make X amount of money so that people know that I'm good enough is not one of those goals. I want to drive that car because someone else has got that car is not one of those goals. We're talking about deep inspirational goals. And, you know, we also have to realize, and these are the other questions to ask as well, you know, is the goal exciting enough to get me out of bed? You know, is it realistic? Is it sensible? Have I played safe? Because if not, you're probably going to keep wandering back to your old self and your old habits and start making excuses to not show up. Because the thing that you want to get isn't getting your juices flowing. You know, so many times people have asked me, you know, why did you stop drinking? How did you manage to do this? How did you manage to do that? Two reasons. One, I created a life that I don't need to escape from. I don't need to escape at the weekend. I would rather be working on my mission at the weekend. Why? Because it's inspired. Again, looking at the 200-mile run, why am I still so excited about it? Because I still don't know if I can achieve it. We're 9 days out and I have no idea if I can achieve it. I've visualized it, I've thought about it, I've thought about nothing else for 6 months, and it makes me feel excited. Would just, oh, I'm going to run another marathon. Oh, I'm just going to try and get fit. Would that have kept me inspired? Of course it wouldn't. You know, again, with the place in Spain, do I know how to achieve that? No idea. No idea at this stage, you know? But it's there. It's the vision. You know, I'm currently at a situation where I don't have enough money or investment to be able to get my own house and a mortgage in Spain. So yes, and a mortgage in England, sorry. So it's way off the target in terms of where that I'm at. But it's big enough to make me inspired to want to move towards it. Now, what happens is, and this is why, you know, it's, oh, I just want to lose a bit of weight. And then they're not sticking to their nutritional training plan within a couple of weeks. Of course you're not, because I just want to lose a bit of weight isn't going to get you out of bed in the morning. And your goal and your vision should be that inspired that not only you're moving towards creating a life that you don't want to escape from. You know, the amount of people that literally work non-stop 48 weeks a year only to be able to afford to get pissed in Benidorm for the other 4 is mental. Imagine being that life. I work 80% of this year being busy, stressed, hating my job, hating my life, in order to be able to give money to go and escape it for 4 weeks with booze and whatever else people do. That's why people get lost. That's not inspired. There is no vision. That is literally some people's vision of 2024. To be able to work enough, to be able to save enough, to be able to get pissed for 2 weeks in Turkey and forget about all of the stuff that I've done for the other 48 weeks that I really don't like. Now, the problem is, and also go back and watch the Designing Your Dream Life. I know Stephen was watching it again this weekend, which was delivered live at Mindset Mastery in January, where I went through the hot pen technique. Because the normal human response is, so again, I'm going to keep using this example because I think it's such a great one. Okay, the normal response is, I want a villa or a house in Spain where I live at least 6 months per year. I'm sorry, England, but we're done for at least 6 months of the year. I cannot physically think of anything worse than many more winters in this country. Someone said something the other day that made me absolutely laugh. It said, why the hell have we got a red, blue and white flag when, quite frankly, it should be a soggy grey flannel? Because that sums up England. Like, I've joked about it all the time. I've said if depression was a country, it would be England, you know, with how certain things are. That's my personal view, and that's why I want to move towards it. Now, when we think about these big goals, maybe lose anything from losing the 5 stone to buying the villa to leaving your job and starting your business or anything you want, we get lost in the, how am I going to do that? It's too big. Okay, and that's what the hot pen technique in that training, it's called, it's on, I'll send it, it's in, when I update the list today and email it out, it'll be in there from January. It's called Designing Your Dream Life. Now, what happens is when we set these bigger picture goals, these big visions, these things that make us excited, that like, oh yeah, that, you all know this, right? Every single one of you has this deep down inside. You just think you don't know how to do it and you're afraid you'll fail. So you end up not going for it and living the life that I was previously talking about. Because the normal human response is, I get what you're saying, Lee. This life, this relationship, this house, this car, this place in Spain, this body, all these things, that sounds amazing. Do you know what? If I have all that, I know I think I'd be happier than I am now at best and fulfilled. But we think it's too big. We think it's not going to happen, and we talk ourselves out of it. Put your hand up virtually or drop a comment if you've always done that. I want this thing, but then I got started, and it might be the fat loss goal, the fitness goal, the career goal, the business goal, the life goal, and I get started and it's just too fucking difficult. I'm not clever enough, I'm not motivated enough, I don't have enough money to start a business, I don't have any of these things, I don't have any of the skills, I don't know how to do it, oh, what's the point, I'm not even going to try. That's the reality of where most people live. We need to bypass this bullshit, okay, by creating vision. Most people get lost in that I don't know how to, so I want to, but I don't know how to, so I won't even try. You don't need to know how to. Anything that you want, I promise you, you can have it. There's proof all around the world. The relationship, the job, the business, the house, the car, the body, anything that you want, which is personal to each person, which you believe is the key to your happiness, purpose, fulfillment, and mission, is available to you, and you can achieve it. And that's all you need to know at this point. And then you need to partly forget about the goal, but hold the vision. And the question is then, who do I need to become to make this a reality? Who do I need to ask for help? Who can I follow? Who's already done this that I can get alongside and learn from? Because there's proof everywhere that every single person can achieve anything that they want. I've said this a million times, you're masters of your own destiny. Well, the person that I would need to become is I'm going to have to work harder. Ultimately, I'm going to have to study marketing more. I'm going to have to study client retention and support more. I'm going to have to study team building more. I'm not going to be able to build to that level on my own. I'm going to have to be more disciplined. I'm going to have to stop wasting money on things that I don't need. Booking the £200 hotel because it made me feel good for 24 hours when realistically all I did was fucking sleep in it, and I could have booked the £50 Premier Inn. I need to be more educated. I need to learn more. I need to be more resourceful. I need to remember 3 words that are becoming vitally important to me and that I probably believe is the number one reason why I fall down. Those words are: proximity is power. If I want to be this person, I need to get around more people like that. I need to get around inspired people. Am I going to become the villa owner in Spain, hanging around with my mates who their biggest goal is whether they can afford Creamfields or not, and how much money they can spend on drugs, and whether they can do Ibiza this year again to spend more money on drugs? People that don't have goals, don't have vision, don't have mission, aren't into business, aren't into coaching, aren't into personal development and growth. Am I going to get where I want to be hanging around with them, or are they going to drag me down? I'm going to share, I wrote this down actually, I'm going to share it with you guys. Chris Williamson, it's literally one of the best things I've ever heard. I shared it on my stories on Instagram yesterday. By the way, there's loads of inspired stuff on my Instagram if you want to follow it. Reminder, if you want to be exceptional, you're going to have to be different from everybody else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in with the crowd and also be exceptional. Both of these things have discomfort, because when you fit in, when you conform, when you go with the flow, you're always going to have internal conflict because you're not being 100% yourself. When you're exceptional, you're going to have external conflict because all those people that I've just talked about will tell you that you're different, that you think you're better than them now, that you've changed. The reason why they'll say you have changed is because they don't have the courage to tell you that you have grown. So it will trigger them. Some people will then run back to that peer group, back to the pub, back to not studying, back to snoozing, back to falling in line with whatever their husband, wife, partner, or significant other believe life should be. Remember the story about my client, his wife telling him that, she prefers Fat Dave because Fat Dave was fun and Fat Dave used to come to the pub. My advice, divorce that bitch right now because Dave had goals. Proximity is power. You cannot spend your life around people who aren't on an inspired mission with you and expect to be okay, because you'll fall back into the human behavioural trait of conformity and falling back in line. So I need to get around more inspired people, more winners, more business coaches, more mentors. I spend about 4 hours a day at the moment around Peter. He sent me something so incredible that I'm going to share with you guys next week. How did I get that? I got that by spending so much time around him. You guys will remember me gifting his signed copy of his book to Jan at the last event. Well, guess what? Something way bigger than that came back to me, giving away something that was precious to me. That's the perfect example of life being a contribution-based experience. So I need to contribute more. I need to read more. I need to stop looking for fast and easy. I need to stop investing in bullshit mentors who know less than me. But I think, if I just give this person this money, they'll do my marketing for me and everything will be okay. I need to be around more focused, driven, dedicated, energetic people. And I need to be more focused, driven and energetic. Because if I do the work, everything I've ever wanted will show up. And we have to be committed to that. And I'm not going to stop that because this is my dream vision. I'm going to focus on it every day. I'm going to hold this vision. But again, as well as holding it, we need to be back to this dream that I want, this thing that gets me excited. I'm not going to say juicy again, because every time I do, Ali and Stephen laugh. But I'm committed to it. How can I make it happen in 5 years? Where do I need to be on track in 3 years? Where do I need to be on track in 1 year? Where do I need to be on track by the end of 2024? Right, what are my 2024 goals? What needs to have happened by the end of 2024 in order for me to make that a reality? What person do I need to become? You know, how do I need to change? How can I make it happen in 5 years? Who can help me and how can I reward them? Because if you have this vision and it's strong enough and you hold it and you do the work, you don't need to do anything else. How amazing would it be to be looking back on this training in 5 years when I'm sat in Spain with Logan on his 10th birthday saying, guess what, son? Daddy said he was going to do this on Monday, the 20th of May, 2024. Shortly before he ran 200 consecutive miles. That makes me feel incredible. And that's the emotions that you need. Is that not exciting to move towards? How exciting does that, look at how my energy's changed. How excited am I getting just thinking about it? Yes, that's what I want. Not to get through another week, to get through the weekend. To graft so hard that hopefully I can go to Benidorm and get pissed and see Sticky Vicky for 2 whole weeks before going back to my job. That's not exciting. That's a fucking prison sentence. But when you have vision and when you do the work and when you make sure that everything is aligned with this, that's when opportunity will just show up. Another, proximity is power, but also working from this place of purpose is when you start to attract, not chase. As I said, if we chase the rabbit of success, it will very often run away. This was another phrase that I learned this weekend. Let me just find it. The difference between pursuit versus polarity. Okay, so pursuit is chase, negative energy. Chasing the things you want. And the harder you chase, the further it runs away. And it's usually that thing that you've decided that represents success for you. And you waste a lot of time or money. It might even be the person you want to attract. You waste a lot of time and money trying to get what you don't have in a very inefficient way. Polarity is when you're working with mission, focus, and vision. And becoming the person you want to be rather than solely focusing on the outcome. This is when things align. This is when things start to show up. So again, that's a great question for you to ask yourself today. And I've asked myself this morning, who do I need to spend more time around? And who do I need to spend less time around? What actions do I need to do more of? And what actions do I need to do less of? What habits do I need to develop further? And what habits do I need to get rid of? So that's goals. We've discussed the big picture goals. Them not being about you. Being on a mission, that is something that's bigger than yourself, is the true road to fulfillment. And will get everything you want by default. We've now discussed vision. So we've got the goal, we've got the vision. So what's the glue that then binds all of this together? That really makes this happen, that really concretes it in your life? That is belief or faith. Faith that if I keep showing up and doing the work from an inspired place, that the universe will give me everything that I want. And when I'm talking about faith, I'm not talking about religion. You guys know this, right? even though God is a DJ and the gym is a church. So our values, our internal values, should determine our behaviour, not what we are forced to do or what we're forced to believe we need to do in order to be happy. It comes from within you. But faith and belief in this different way is so critical towards the quality of your life. And this is where they're different. How many times, right? How many times have you heard, I just need to have faith in myself? If only I had more faith in myself, I would insert what I would do. How many trainings do you see on self-faith? How many things do you see on gym walls saying, if I can have faith in myself, I can achieve it? You don't. They always use the other word, the B word, the bullshit word, belief. You don't need belief, you need faith. Belief and faith are two very different things. And I'll tell you why. I love telling this story. One, story about this award that you can't see. Unstoppable Elite X Member of the Year 2022. Faced against 200 plus other businessmen who, many of them earn what I earn in a year, in a week. Big hitters, the elite to the elite that Paul Mort's ever coached. That's one personal example, to give it real, myself. The other one is Emma Raducanu, the tennis player who won the Grand Slam. So I had that little belief that I could win that award, because why on earth would Paul pick me when there's people earning £100,000 a week? Emma Raducanu had that little belief that her entire team had booked the flights home before the quarterfinals. I had that little belief that I wasn't attending the end of year awards until I got a message from Paul saying, hey Shagger, which was what he called me. It had nothing to do with shagging. I think it's a Geordie term. He said, I can neither confirm or deny that you may or may not have won a very high level award. How could you possibly get yourself fitted for a suit and make sure you're in Newcastle on Friday? Straight up, I burst into tears. I was like, what? What on earth? Me? Why would I have won that award? Against people like Ian Lambert. Why me? Why would you have picked me? Okay? And then I went back to my hot pen technique from January of that year, January 2022. The same hot pen technique that he got me to do that I taught you in Designing Your Dream Life. Who knows what number one on my hot pen technique list was? To become Paul Mort's Elite X Man of the Year. Did I believe I could achieve it? But I had a vision. I had faith that maybe if I just showed up and kept doing the work, that it would show up for me. And in reality, the award wasn't about how much money you made. It wasn't about how many miles you ran. Guess what it was about? Growth and contribution. His exact words were, this man has brought more energy than anyone else this year. He's brought great energy and he's spent a lot of time helping other people. It wasn't about that, it was about the contribution. And the same with Emma Raducanu. I'm sure I still probably pronounced that wrong. It wasn't about believing that she could win the Grand Slam. Internally, I guarantee you she had faith that she could, but she was just willing to hold that vision, turn up, and keep fucking hitting balls. The end. She wasn't there going, oh, I need to win the Grand Slam, and if I don't win the Grand Slam, I'm not good enough, and nobody believes in me because even my team have already booked all the flights home, and I'll never be good enough, and I'll never win this. She just went, I've got this vision that I want to be a Grand Slam winner. I don't give a fuck if my team believe in me or not. They've already booked the flights. I'm going to have faith, and I'm going to turn up, and I'm going to keep hitting tennis balls. And if I keep hitting tennis balls, eventually everything in my life will show up for me, and it did. It's an identical story, whether it's her or me. So remember that. You don't have to know how to do it, and you don't have to believe you can do it. You just need to hold the vision and have faith if you do the work that everything you've ever wanted will become true. And this is the big difference between beliefs and faith, right? What is belief? Belief is nothing more than a feeling of certainty. Please believe in me. Certainty. You need to believe, certain. You need to believe you can achieve it, certain. What did we discuss in the human behaviours trainings? Which again, massive credit to Peter. Everything that I'm coaching you currently comes from Peter. 90% anyway. Some of it comes from ADHD. But some of it isn't even planned. That is the mic drop moment. There is no certainty, but yet you feel you need belief, which is nothing more than a feeling of certainty, which we know certainty doesn't exist. People feel certain in their jobs, they lose their job. People stay in a relationship because they feel certain only for the relationship to end. People feel certain they're going to achieve something only to pick up an injury. So this having belief is a feeling of certainty, which is why it's not important. And it's why faith is different. Because when we think about it, it's a feeling that becomes so ingrained that it becomes a belief. Thoughts become beliefs, they then become your identity. We've discussed this at length. And you think, where do beliefs come from? Like, ask yourself that question. Where do my beliefs come from? Everything that you currently believe or don't believe to be true now, everything you believe you can achieve, and everything you don't believe you can achieve, where does it all come from? Other people. Probably from when you were 5 years old. It all comes from references. So one that I wrote down is, I believe I can run 100 miles. Why? Because I've already done it. Comes from a reference. I believe I can run 200 miles because other people have already done it. That's another reference. Neither of those beliefs came from internal. Now, this can work both ways, because these beliefs have very often come from childhood and authority figures. Maybe your mum or your dad, maybe your teachers, maybe your husband or wife, maybe your peer group at school if you were bullied. Classic reference. The amount of times I've heard this is ridiculous. I believe I can never lose weight because my parents told me everyone in our family has always been big. I believe I will not go to university because no one in our family's ever been to university. Good things don't happen to people like us. If you've ever said that to your kids, give yourself a fucking smash in the face. That's an imprint you are putting on them. And yet, this is the reality of what so many of us went through. So it's not our fault. Told we'd never lose weight. Told we're not good enough. Manipulated, bullied up to levels of narcissism. Told we're not good enough. Told we're not clever enough. Told we'll always be this way because our fat loser parents have always been that way. Because they never found the strength to have a vision and have a faith and have a look out of it. So we're actually referencing what we've been told. Referencing the beliefs that have been instilled in us. Now can you see sometimes why it feels like an uphill path? Maybe from the age of 3 to 16 or 17. That's fucking 13 years. So what happens if we don't have any references? What happens if we don't listen? That's where faith comes in. And this is what I've learned this weekend, and I'm like, oh my God. Because the reason why faith is different to belief is it comes from inside. It comes from internal. Internally knowing that you are good enough. Internally knowing that you are enough and that you have always been. What those people said, that was just references. That was just them projecting their version of the world onto you. Projecting their beliefs. Protecting their level of emotional intelligence and emotional maturity onto you. But it wasn't your fault because you were young. Your brain wasn't even at a level of development to be cynical. Like, name me an 8-year-old that says, well, fucking hell, mum, I don't know about everyone in our family being all big because fucking calorie deficit, and do you know what? Essentially, you're just a fat lazy bitch who sits on the couch and drinks every weekend. So, mother, I don't really think it's got fuck all to do with everyone in our family. I think it's got fuck all to do with the fact that you can't sew your mouth shut or keep your fucking feet out of the fridge. Seven years old? No, never going to happen, is it? Mum, I get what you're saying, but everyone can go to university because you can get grants and you can get help and I can get a part-time job and I really want to be a doctor and I've got this faith and this vision so I can do it. No, you can't. No one in our family's ever gone to university. We're not intelligent enough. You know, that it doesn't come from, is this making sense? Because it makes so much sense to me. Like, beliefs and identities and all these things come from external references that we don't need to listen to. And we might have to undo years of internal programming from people that should have known better, but they didn't because they're just projecting who they are and what had been projected onto them. It's not their fault. Said mum has had the same thing projected on her by grandmother and grandmother before and grandmother before that. Negativity, low self-worth and worthlessness built down and driven in as beliefs through generations. It's nobody's fault. I'm not here to face blame, to make blame, as you know that. You know, I'm not here to tell people how to live their lives. Like I said, I'm here to hold up the mirror and say, this is what's possible. Trust me, and I'm going to keep showing you every single day. Because you are enough, because you always have been. Fuck those people. Okay? Faith comes from inner. I'm getting belief out of my dictionary. Faith comes from inner knowing. Faith comes from having a feeling internally that it doesn't matter what anybody else says. I don't need anyone to believe in me. All that matters is that I have the vision, I have the goal, I have the faith, and I believe it's possible. But faith comes from your relationship with life. And this is determined by your past, your values, and what other people have told you. And when we can change the what other people have told you to what I tell myself, that's when it changes. And this is another incredible quote. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of faith you have in life. This is where I'm moving to operating from now. I've just got faith in life. I won a 400 million to 1 sperm race before kicking the shit out of the 50 other sperms that made it through, and I got the fucking egg. Me. I was born a miracle, and so were you. That's the biggest race of life. Now, some people may think this universe stuff's a bit woo-woo, but to me, there's a reason why you won that race. And it wasn't to live a life that you hate, to listen to people that don't matter, to only escape at the weekend or in Benidorm. So the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the faith you have in life. Just understanding that if I do the work, everything will show up. Understanding that if I just keep doing the work, I'll get the body you want. Not keep focusing on what you did this week and what the scale said on Sunday and why you feel you should weigh this by now and I should this and I should that. No, you shouldn't. Stop that shouldn't. I should be further along in life by now. No, you shouldn't. You should be exactly where you fucking are based on the work that you've done. The end. You know, whether you're on the way to being an example or a warning, all comes down to your faith in yourself. And the faith that you have, if you live in a place where you just keep thinking, I'll do the work, then I'm going to get this, I'll do the work when I'm going to get this, I'll do the work when I get this, and when I get this, I'll be happy. And if I don't, I'm not good enough, or it's somebody else's fault, you will stay locked in that fucking hamster wheel for the rest of your life. When you're happy to just be you, be authentically you, do the work and trust that if I just hold this vision and have faith and keep doing the work, it will happen. I don't know when, just like I can't tell you how many pounds you're going to lose this week. Now, I can't tell you what to believe. I can't tell you what to have faith in. I can't tell you how you want your life to look. It will be completely different to mine. So I would be robbing you of that pleasure. I would be robbing you of the learnings. And essentially, I would be doing exactly what your parents did. No, Stephen, you need to live your life like this, and this is what you need to do, and this is how your future should look, and this is what visions you have, because I need you all to be like me. I want all your pictures to fit in with my pictures of how I think the world should be. And if not, then I'm going to cause confrontation with you. That's not how it should be. And I've done that a lot in the past, guys, trust me. So again, I'm just holding up the mirror. It's not my place to tell you how your body should look, what career you should have. Just like it's not really my place to tell them that they shouldn't be working their whole life for someone else in a job they hate to pay for 2 weeks in Benidorm. But I can hold up the mirror and just say, look at this possibility. And then it's up for you to choose whether you want that or not. Not for me to force it, because we're back on force versus attraction. So What I can tell you is whatever faith you have, whatever you do believe, internally, that may have come from the references, that will become your reality. Whatever your vision is, whatever your dreams are, whatever you want to create to have faith in, that if you just keep showing up and being your authentic self, the universe will give you, will become your reality. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, you never will be. But what I can tell you is, please, for the love of fucking God, have some. Please have a dream. Please have a vision. Please have a mission. And please make sure it aligns with what's in your heart, not what other people have told you. Because if not, you're always going to be lost. And make sure it comes from the right place, and go back to thinking about, I want my mission to be about growth and contribution. I want my mission to be about something that's bigger than me. Not proving what I'm going to do to show other people about how good I am. Not having to constantly be number one to prove that I'm good enough, to desperately get the love, significance and validation that I never got as a child. Not about that. The magic lies in what you can do to empower others. This is every single, guys as well, just a side note, personal development. You guys will always love these videos because you connect with me just like I connect with Peter. But again, don't spend, this is tangent time, don't spend that much time consuming that you end up not doing the things. So many people are burning through 10, 15 videos. Give me some more, give me some more, give me some more information. Well, no, go and implement the information that I've given you for a little bit. So many people are, what's the next best personal development book? What's the next best, oh God, what's the next best book that might just be the one that breaks my life? Every single personal development book and theory, and I believe, Jan, you have 2 copies of this, comes from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There is not a personal development book that's been written that doesn't have anything that's in that book. And the reason why that triggered my scattered brain was when I wrote this side note down. The magic lies not in what I achieve, but what I empower others to achieve. He didn't set out to make millions. He set out to make millionaires. He's made more millionaires than any person in the world ever will. What was the default of that? Well, he sold 15 million copies of that book for one. But he didn't say, I want to get rich. I want to get ripped. He said, I want to help people. I want to help salesmen become better. I want to help all these people earn all this money so they can live true, fulfilling lives and have dreams and have visions and have time off. And the big part of Think and Grow Rich is goals, faith, and vision, and writing them down. So I'm regurgitating these learnings from Peter, which Peter no doubt learnt from maybe Tony Robbins, which Tony Robbins maybe learnt from someone else, that almost whoever got it from somewhere got it from Think and Grow Rich. So the big thing that Napoleon Hill teaches in Think and Grow Rich, tangent time, is I want to achieve X. But if you haven't read it, just go and read it. Get it on Audible today. Be the best £7.99 I've ever spent. And I can confirm I'm not on any form of affiliate scheme for Napoleon Hill. God rest his soul. I want to achieve X by this date. in order to achieve that and that to become a reality, I am willing to. And then you have to state what you're willing to give in order to receive the things that you would like to receive by said date. Make sense? By what you are willing to contribute. Okay? But having faith, that's back to growth and contribution. Having faith in you, the universe, and your future is an incredible sense of peace and clarity. And if just one person can get to that today, if you can have this calm desire, as I said in my post at the weekend, you know, if I can begin to operate from a place of peace and calm and bring calm to the chaos and operate from an aura of trust and serenity, rather than I need to do this to prove that I'm good enough because I never felt that way before. I need to do this in order to get loved because I've never felt loved. How different may my life look? How different would my future look when, look how my voice has gone now. How different would my life look when everything just comes from a place of calmness, peace, clarity, serenity? And if I just keep showing up and trying to be the best version of myself, if I just keep showing up trying to contribute and help people, and if I just have faith that as long as I do that, the universe is always going to have my back, I think everything in my life will look completely different. And that's what I want for you guys as well. And one thing I can guarantee you, this is the only thing that I have certainty of, is you're all going to be all right. Whatever happens, you're going to be all right. That's it. So go out and find what you want. Go out and create how you want your life to look. Find this vision and have faith and trust in yourself that if you just keep showing up, it will blossom and happen. Because as I said in Thursday's training, if you really understood how incredible your body is, if you really understood what the mind and the body did on a daily basis, Jan, Stephen, and everyone else, specifically what you've come through, how strong your body was to come through that, you'll realize, and you would literally fall down in awe with gratitude at being given something so amazing for free, at being given such an amazing mind, at being given such an amazing body. So please, 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 do not waste it. Guys, stay unbreakable. I love you all.